Meja uhuonia Kona Kovoti District Assembly Abatoi Kona Kovoti Eligible voters in Ghana must go and vote. The progress of your community is right in your hands. Mantam Puntionia Kona Kovoti.
The chorus from the women echo louder. Singing in one accord, they proclaim there will no longer be hidden figures in Ghana's governance system.
The progress of your community is right in your hands.
The women are coming out. The clock is ticking fast. To change the narrative for more representation of women in Ghana's politics as we inch closer towards achieving Agenda 2030, the framework of the UN Commission on the Status of Women's reinvigorated targets for the Beijing Declaration and Platform for Action. This includes Ghana must have a female president or vice president by 2030, 60% of parliamentary seats, 60% of metropolitan, municipal and district chief executives posts, and 60% of assembly and unit committee members as women. Women must occupy 60% of ministerial portfolios, especially finance, energy, education and health. 50% of vice-chancellors and university professors must be women, 60% of state corporation chief executive officers, Ghana Club 100 chief executive officers, and bank chief executive officers. This is a story making a case for the brave and courageous Ghanaian women contesting in the district-level assembly election. For any democratic society to thrive, it needs the equal representation and participation of men and women in decision-making. Despite this knowledge, women are still underrepresented in the political domain and decision-making processes in Ghana.
Right Honorable Speaker, in every citizen's participation as a whole in the district assemblies elections and the abysmal representation of women in local assemblies, alongside the critical importance of the work of these assemblies, are the reasons why I'm here today, to crave your indulgence to local government and to inform the public and the electorate to participate in this year's district level elections, to increase voter turnout, and more broadly, to deepen our democracy.
It is at the local level that most people or most women get the opportunity to participate because it is closer to us at home and it is easier for us to jump in and attend to community work and then go back. If we are not able to build our interest at the local level, this is the result we will see. That out of 275 members of parliament, only 40 are women.
According to the Inter-Parliamentary Union, IPU, an international body that has been reporting on women in parliament, as of March 2022, only 26.1% of all national parliamentarians globally were women, which still represents a low increase compared to the UN benchmarks set at 30% female representation in decision-making positions. In Ghana, the situation is no different. In 2012, there were 29, that's 11% females, and 246, that's 89% males, among the 275 members of parliament. After the 2016 general elections, Ghana's parliament recorded 35 female MPs representing 13% and 240 male MPs representing 87% out of the 275 members of parliament, while the 2020 general elections recorded 40 female MPs representing 14.5% and 235 male MPs representing 85.4%.
So the next one, we expect to increase it by 100%. At least we should get 80 to 100 so that the women too will have the opportunity to serve their people. And to me, it should be he for she. We are 275. Why should women be 40? they should give us the opportunity. Those who are here, you can see that they are all the effort they are doing to excel in their constituencies and in the chamber worth it. So we are pleading that wherever you find any woman, just vote for that person.
Since the introduction of the decentralized system in Ghana in 1988, the situation at the local assembly level has been worrying. An analysis of results from the district assembly elections over the years shows a decrease in the number of women elected from 478 in 2006 of a total of 1,772 women candidates to 216 in 2019 of a total of 909 women candidates.
I think one of the things that we've been striving for is opening up our political spaces to women participation. I know that it's always challenging and it's always difficult for women to be elected at the national level or even as members of parliament. We've made some progress where we've increased the number of women parliamentarians, but there's still a long way to go if you look at some of the targets that we've either set for ourselves through the Millennium Development Goals, the SDGs. I think it's very important. So our upcoming local government elections, I believe, is one of the ways in which, if we can get not just women participating in those elections, but getting elected, will be a really, really good step in that direction of ensuring that we have greater female participation in our political spaces, especially if you look at their share of the national population. And for me, because local governments are the units of government closest to the people, it also becomes an important avenue to make sure that women's voices, are heard in our governance setup.
This begs the question, what can be done to increase the participation of women at the local governance level?
I believe that as a nation, it is important for us to stop taking or treating the issue of local level election as if we want to take that every 4 years we get elections conducted as part of our mandate, constitutional mandate.
What can we do differently this time? And that is where the media comes in. The media have a great facilitating role to shape our development, including local level development. Over the years, the media have set our agendas. What we read, what we consume is what we think about. And therefore, if the media espouses this cause, Ghanaians will begin to think about how to propel women into these natural spaces. That is the district assemblies and the unit committee.
Eligible voters in Ghana must go and vote. The progress of your community is right in your hands.
Number 3, me kwana me oba o. Enti baby a obefa bia oba no a. Number 3.
29-year-old Zainab Al-Hassan is on a mission. She is aspiring to break records as the first woman to be elected as assembly member for Finso Kokote electoral area in the Ashanti region.
I looked within and I asked a lot of questions, and I realized that a lot of people who even come and stand as assembly members, they don't even know that some of the things that we are entitled to as citizens of the country. And so because they don't know what we are entitled to, they don't even ask for them. Most of them come based on partisan politics. Others also come because they just want to be going around being pompous and being called honorable. And I realized that is not helping us. We need someone who knows the needs of the community, who is also well vested in the affairs of the country and knows that these are the things that every community is entitled to. And so the person will fight for these things. That is why I came.
A research assistant at Parliament House, Zainab is contesting with 4 men.
Ofinso is one of the biggest towns in the whole of Ashanti region. But you come and you look at our market and it doesn't speak well of us. It doesn't speak well of the community that we are. It's time for us to come together as a people. It's time for us to work together. It's time for us to choose someone who can fight for our interests. And that is why I am encouraging you all to come out on the day of the election to vote for Zainab.
In the Ashanti region, 3,919 candidates are contesting in the December 19 District Assembly elections. Out of this figure, 211 are females, representing 5.4%, as against 3,707 males, which stands at 94.6%. Zainab faces stiff challenge from her male candidates, whom she says are using partisan politics and her age to discredit her.
There's also a group of people who will tell you that you're a woman, go and concentrate on marriage, and then you are coming here telling us that you don't want to leave. Have you ever seen a woman coming out saying that she wants to lead this community? What is wrong with you? Small girl, go and sit somewhere. And then they are going with that one. I'm not being partisan. I don't belong to any of the political parties. Although in Ghana it is not even allowed for assembly election to be made into partisan, but that is how it has become now in our dispensation. We've realized that we have NDC, we have MPP. NDC, they even have internal elections to choose someone who will contest in the assembly election. It is an illegality, but we are fostering it. It is going on. And so I, as an outsider, I don't belong to any of the political parties. It has made it very difficult for me because you go to some places and they ask, are you NDC or you are MPP? And then I tell them I don't belong to any of the parties. They are perplexed. They don't even understand. Because the people don't even know that assembly election is not supposed to be partisan, but that is how they turned it into. And so I have both parties coming at me with a force. They are saying things that are not there. They are lying against my candidature and saying all manner of things against me.
Eligible voters in Ghana must go and vote. The progress of your community is right in your hands.
Regina Dede Amankwa alias Obi-Wan braved the odds in the Lalue electoral area to be elected as Assembly Member in 2019. A hairdresser by profession, she is seeking re-election on December 19, hoping to continue developmental projects started in her community.
The progress of your community is right in your hands.
Nani oninta wana vota mi nani jishie nyono yene try area ajiake. Ofia moka o nuchu moko ochuo no ogbi ona na ha bwa iko. No wanye nyemi Regina Dede Amankwa e ba chunuchu mo 4 years ya la electoral area ne. Efi akanimi mba ni bi komeni ka hwen akashima chumi nye koma gbena. Ene wo minto ni a vota ha mi iko ni ma no ni jishie nyono.
Ye tuma mia se bia ma ese ye ni ye din. Na yewra your friends say assembly nim ese man dudu na ra asem man bom uyo ba ese ora assembly nim men ka se mema nkwa na eko so bra ye hia ma wa assembly nim na se ye toma mia misuma ye mafem de meboa mi assemblyman eye Peter Yaw Glavi.
Intimidation, lack of recognition, illiteracy, lack of resources to finance campaigns, lack of self-confidence, unsupportive family and traditional gender roles are some factors barring women from participating in active politics. They say I'm uneducated because I can't speak English. I will speak Fanti at the assembly.
Inti me pede mo kwa assembly na makaka Fanti na bia hu de besi aba mo so ma baby.
Despite these challenges, the women are forging ahead to get a seat at the table of governance at the local level.
Eligible voters in Ghana must go and vote. The progress of your community is right in your hands.
Linda Mercura Anson is also seeking re-election as Assembly Member for the Kokomemle West electoral area, the only female among 2 male contestants. Because of her busy schedule as a mother and worker at the assembly, Her campaign begins at night.
You know, miss you. Go to bed then. I'll see you soon, alright? Okay. Melissa, please come for Larina.
To garner more votes, she had to make a promise of helping secure birth certificates for residents in her electoral area.
Oh, birth certificate?
Yeah.
Oh, I need one for my daughter.
Oh, really? When you are here, how old is 2 years?
Yeah,
okay. Yeah, wako come as your child last day. Wako come Monday,
She highlighted her achievements in her electoral area, including the provision of street lights, curbing crime, and running social intervention programs in health and education.
You see the road from Royal Castle Road, Dionsters Road, Victory Road, Akokoma Road. We are done with it. It's left with Santa Claus Road and Britannia Road with 4 more. I will be able to finish it up for the Kokomlemle West electoral area.
My name is Oforiwa Akosia Bamfo, and I'm upcoming unit committee. The reason why I wanted to be elected as a unit committee is that I want to help the good deed of our assemblywoman, that's our Honorable Linda, to do a good deeds in the community as well, and also empower we the upcoming youth, especially the women, of course, to also have that courage to do more when it comes to the politics as well.
But there are challenges she faces, including funding.
Female in politics is not that easy. Funding it is not an easy task at all. But with the help of my family, friends, that is the old school mates, godfathers, mothers, who also supports me behind the scenes.
Despite these challenges, she's braving the odds to serve her people.
Serena! Please open the door, hurry up!
She wraps up her campaign at midnight.
The progress of your community is right.
According to Ghana's 1992 Republican Constitution, district assembly elections are to be held once every 4 years. The election is, however, fraught with challenges including apathy, low participation of women and persons with disability as candidates, among others.
Mr. Speaker, records from the Electoral Commission clearly demonstrate that the voter turnout during district level elections leave much to be desired. In 1998, when Ghana started the district level elections, the voter turnout was 59.3%, which was fairly impressive. Since then, voter participation has reduced substantially. In 1994, voter turnout was 29.3%. 1998, 41.6%, 2002, 33.1%, 2006, 39.3%, 2010, 35.3%, 2015, 35.9%, and in the last district level elections held in 2019, the voter turnout was 33.6%. The aforementioned statistics shows that since we started the Fourth Republic, and for the conduct of 7 district level elections, voter turnouts have averaged less than 40%. Compared to presidential and parliamentary elections, where voter participation rate had averaged over 70%, the abysmal voter turnout in local government elections does not speak well of our democracy, especially when Ghana has been a pace setter in decentralization and local governance in Africa.
Today, we are so interested in the national governance than the district assembly elections. Is it because it is partisan and this one is not? Or what is it? Is it also that because we have not put in things that will make it more competitive? Because we know that when it comes to the national, it is political. And so political parties, one of their roles is to educate and to mobilize, you see. And so because this one is not partisan, then the absence, the mobilization, and then education aspect is not there. And unfortunately, the NCC has not also been able to live up to the task to take up that responsibility to educate people and do. That could also be. So we have to diagnose actually the whole issues to look at the real reason that is actually bringing out this seemingly non-interested, action.
To address this challenge, local governance experts want Parliament to speed up the process to pass the Affirmative Action Bill to provide some legal backing to push for more and improved women and persons with disabilities participation in public affairs, including political offices. A government must consider appointing more women and persons with disabilities through the constitutional powers reserved for the President to appoint 30% of District Assembly members. In a bid to increase the participation of women in local governance, the Alliance for Women in Media Africa, with support from the Canada Fund for Local Initiatives, started a series of community engagements.
I commend the work of ALMA. They are pioneers in what they do. When ALMA first approached the Canada High Commission almost a year ago, they had this vision of getting more women in political participation. And as soon as they sold it to us, Canada was like, yes, we will support this.
As you know, we have a governance program as one of our major program areas, and with the governance program, our advocacy is that we want to see an increase in the number of women in positions of leadership and in governance across the board. And we think that the district level elections and the district assembly system is one of the lowest hanging fruits, where women are very in tune with the communities because they work in the community. They are the primary users of services in the community, whether it's sanitation, whether it's health centers, because usually they are primary health givers, education and what have you. So we thought that if we really want to see greater numbers at the top, we have to be interested at the numbers at the bottom.
The program also sought to build the capacity of women aspirants for effective communication and visibility efforts geared towards their participation in the district-level elections in Ghana. Some Ghanaian journalists were also trained on local governance and gender-sensitive reporting.
The need for gender-sensitive reporting comes from a place where we must recognize that if truly we're doing democracy, then we need to play one of the normative roles of media, which is that we help society think about itself. We help society have conversations. If we help society have conversations about things that matter to it, then that conversation should be being had by people who live in society, which, as it happens, includes both men and women. So the culture where the news is a private domain, mostly for males, needs to change.
In Tamale, the Alliance for Women in Media Africa held a day-long workshop for journalists focusing on gender-sensitive reporting and communication skills. Aspiring female assembly members were also taken through communication skills. The aim was to explore avenues to bring more female politicians into the limelight, especially those contesting in local governance.
It happened that ALMA organization conveyed us here today to review and educate us on how to communicate effectively with our electorate that will eventually bring about trust, peace and development in our communities. Truly, we've been taken through and gained a lot of knowledge in communication skills without taking a penny from us. They have trained us on how to effectively communicate through to your electorate and gain their trust, so as to which they will eventually see your competence and elect you as their assembly member. Truly, we are happy for the knowledge being shared with us. This is actually my third time running for an assembly member position without winning. There is a saying that a finder doesn't get annoyed. A person can't be searching for something without a reason. And my reason is I want to be elected as an assembly member for Medina electoral area. There are challenges facing Medina electoral area, so I can call on NGOs, government officials for development interventions.
The aim of the District Assembly concept is to deliver governance to the doorstep of the people, leaving out the over 50% of women representing Ghana's population from elective office amounts to discrimination. Their voices need to be heard. On December 19, Ghana will be presented with another opportunity to change the narrative and elect more women into the district assemblies in order to close the ever-widening inequality gap between men and women. The time to heed to the call is now.
Progress of your community is right in your hands.